Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Abhineet Shukla with the evening news. The headlines. Nation celebrates 73rd Republic Day with gaiety and enthusiasm. Magnificent display of country's military might and cultural dynamism at Rajpath, highlight of the day. Indian Air Force exhibits grandest flypast with 75 aircraft as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Indian missions and diaspora across the world celebrate the day with patriotic fervour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to host the first meeting of India-Central Asia Summit in a virtual format tomorrow. Notification for the fourth phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh to be issued tomorrow. BJP releases second list of 6 candidates for Goa assembly elections. Indian Railways constitutes high-power committee to look into concerns of candidates over NTPC CBT-1 results. In Women's Asia Cup Hockey Tournament, India lose to South Korea in the semi-final at Muscat. And in Australian Open Tennis, Iga Swiatek to take on Danielle Collins and Ash Barty to clash with Madison Keys in the women's singles semi-finals tomorrow. As the number of COVID-19 cases is rising rapidly in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated to help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, to get vaccinated. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 23978046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. The nation is celebrating the 73rd Republic Day today. The ceremony commenced this morning with Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading the nation in paying tribute to the fallen heroes by laying wreath at the National War Memorial in Delhi. The main function was held at Rajpath in the national capital. President Ramnath Kovind unfurled the tricolour and took the salute of the parade presented by Ceremonial Battery of the 871 Field Regiment at Rajpath. The unfurling of the national flag was followed by the national anthem with a booming 21-gun salute. On the occasion, Jammu and Kashmir Police ASI Babu Ram was conferred with the Ashok Chakra posthumously for displaying valour and courage during an anti-terror operation in 2020 in Srinagar, in which he killed 3 terrorists. His wife and son received the award from President Kovind. The Ministry of Defence conceptualized a series of new events for the main parade on Rajpath. Special arrangements were made to give opportunity to those segments of society which usually do not get to watch the parade. Some sections of auto rickshaw drivers, construction workers, Safai Karamcharis and frontline health workers were invited to watch the Republic Day parade. India's military might, cultural diversity, social and economic progress were on full display in the Republic Day parade. Our correspondent reports that a stunning flypast by 75 aircraft and helicopters of the Indian Air Force was the highlight of the grand parade.
People braved the biting cold of Delhi and gathered in huge numbers at Rajpath to celebrate Republic Day. There were a total of 16 marching contingents in the parade, 6 from the Army, 1 each from Navy and Air Force, 4 Central Armed Police Forces, 1 from Delhi Police, 2 from NCC and 1 National Service Team. They filled the hearts with pride and the air with music. Lieutenant Manisha Bora, leading the Army Ordnance Corps contingent, was a sight to behold. She is the first woman to lead the all-male Army Ordnance Corps contingent.
Woman Officer Lieutenant Manisha Bora. And the formal recognition of this Army Ordnance Corps was with the establishment of the Board of Ordnance on the 8th of April 1775.
Adding more color to the celebrations were the 12 tableaux from different states, union territories, and 9 from ministries and departments. Biodiversity of Maharashtra, the cradle of traditional handicrafts of Karnataka, Kashi Vishwanath Dham were some of the themes of the tableau. Jal Jeevan Mission, which is changing lives in rural areas of the country, also featured among the themes. Besides, 480 dancers selected through Vande Bharatam dance competition performed today at Rajpath. Detachments of Centurion Tank, PT-76, MBT Arjun Mk-1 and APC Topaz participated in the parade. Flypast, which is the most awaited segment, had 75 aircraft and helicopters of Indian Air Force. Vintage as well as modern aircraft like Rafale, Sukhoi, Jaguar, Mi-17, Sarang, Apache and Dakota displayed different formations including Rahat, Eklavya, Trishul, Tiranga, Vijay and Amrit.
Su-30 MKI aircraft which will fly past in Vic formation at 900 km per hour, maintaining 300 meters. AOL over water channel north of Rajpath.
Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
Unfurling of the national flag, an impressive march past marked the Republic Day celebrations in states and union territories across the country. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha today said that the union territory was on path of everlasting peace, progress and development. Addressing the Republic Day gathering at the Maulana Azad Stadium in Jammu, he said that under Prime Minister's leadership, all efforts are being made to take Jammu and Kashmir to new heights and make the union territory at par with any other state of India. Union Territory Ladakh celebrated the day at historic Leh Polo Grounds. Ladakh Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur unfurled the national flag amidst light snow and showering of petals from Army's Chinook helicopter. Here is a report.
Speaking at 73rd Republic Day celebrations, R.K. Mathur congratulated Akon Asghar Ali Basharat and Sering Namgyal for getting conferred with Padma Shri awards this year and other state award winners. Mr. Mathur also listed various development projects to have better connectivity and living standards. He said after becoming Union Territory, 31 villages in Ladakh are connected with national grid for power. Electricity consumers increased to 58,000 and the demand to 72 megawatts. Mr. Mathur congratulated Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Councils in Leh and Kargil for contributing in overall development of the region. Earlier in the morning, R.K. Mathur paid floral tributes to the martyrs at the War Memorial at Hall of Fame in Leh. With Angjan Dolma, this is Ramesh Chandra for All India Radio News, Leh.
In Maharashtra, the main ceremony was held at Shivaji Park in the presence of Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, other ministers and officers. In his speech, Mr. Koshyari praised the remarkable work done in the state over the last 2 years. He also spoke about a loan waiver of 20,234 crore rupees to 32 lakh farmers in the state. Telangana Governor Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan unfurled the national flag at a ceremonial program in Hyderabad on the occasion. In the wake of surge in COVID-19 infections in Hyderabad, the venue of the ceremonial program was shifted to Raj Bhavan. In Karnataka, the celebrations were held at the Field Marshal Manekshaw Parade Ground in Bengaluru. Governor Thawarchand Gehlot unfurled the national flag and presented his speech on the occasion. Tripura celebrated 73rd Republic Day with patriotic zeal and fervour. The main celebrations was held at the Assam Rifle Grounds in Agartala. In Gujarat, state-level function was held at Somnath in Gir Somnath district of Saurashtra. Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel unfurled the tricolour and witnessed the impressive march past. In Mizoram, due to COVID-related health guidelines imposed by the state government, no parade show was organized at the main official program in the state.
The 73rd Republic Day was celebrated across the world by Indian missions and diaspora. Indian Council for Cultural Relations and Foreign Missions organized various events and cultural performances, and Indian diaspora participated in these events with great zeal and enthusiasm. A friendly cricket match was played between India and Australia High Commission in Pretoria, South Africa, as part of National Day celebrations. Notably, India's Republic Day and Australia's National Day falls on the 26th of January. The High Commission to Brunei celebrated the day at the Chancery premises. Despite heavy torrential rains, more than 100 members of the Indian diaspora and Friends of India attended the function. Indian High Commissioner to New Zealand Muktesh Pardeshi launched a handbook titled Exporting to New Zealand. The report has been prepared jointly by High Commission to New Zealand and Duco Consultancy. On the eve of the 73rd Republic Day, the majestic baths of Diocletian, dating back to the 4th century in Rome, is illuminated with tricolor lighting. Chancery and India House were also illuminated and looked resplendent in tricolor at Atlanta. Angola Embassy lighted up in tricolor to celebrate the Republic Day of India. From members of the Congress to industry leaders, from scientists and educators to diaspora and students, greetings poured in on Twitter from the United States. Home Minister Amit Shah has said that central government stands committed to recognizing and honoring India's brave police personnel. In a series of tweets, Mr. Shah said, "It is a matter of immense pride to the entire nation that the Jammu and Kashmir Police has won the largest share, 115, of the Gallantry Awards today on Republic Day." He said this reflects their valor and commitment. Mr. Shah said, Jammu and Kashmir Police has been the spearhead of India's fight against terrorism. The Home Minister also bowed to ASI Babu Ram's unparalleled valor and sacrifice, for which he was awarded the Ashok Chakra this Republic Day. Mr. Shah said his name will remain a source of inspiration, not only for the forces, but for all Indians.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today said that the team of Prasar Bharati and DD News Live did many technical experiments for the live telecast of Republic Day celebrations, which were quite successful. He congratulated the whole team. In a tweet, the minister said the live telecast of an aerial view of the flypast, including the pilot's cockpit, was breathtaking. Arunachal Pradesh Governor, retired Brigadier Dr. B.D. Mishra, dedicated the General Bipin Rawat Hall of Raj Bhavan, Itanagar, to the people of the state on the occasion of the 73rd Republic Day today. Kritika Rawat and Tarini Rawat, daughters of late General Bipin Rawat, former Chief of Defence Staff of India, virtually attended the function. Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu on the occasion informed that in honour of late General, the road from Wolong to Kibithu will be named after him.
Law and Justice Minister Kiren Rijiju today said that a hotline has been exchanged on Republic Day by Indian Army with Chinese PLA. In a tweet, Mr. Rijiju said PLA responded positively, indicating handing over of an Indian national, and suggested a place of release. He said they are likely to intimidate date and time soon, and the delay has been attributed to bad weather conditions on their side. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Nation celebrates 73rd Republic Day with gaiety and enthusiasm. Magnificent display of country's military might and cultural dynamism at Rajpath highlight of the day. Indian Air Force exhibits grandest flypast with 75 aircraft as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Indian missions and diaspora across the world celebrate the day with patriotic fervour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to host first meeting of India Central Asia Summit in a virtual format tomorrow. Notification for fourth phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh to be issued tomorrow. BJP releases second list of 6 candidates for Goa assembly elections. Congress announces another list of 89 candidates for Uttar Pradesh. Indian Railways constitutes high power committee to look into concerns of candidates over NTPC CBT1 result. In Women's Asia Cup hockey tournament, India lose to South Korea in the semi-final at Muscat. And in Australian Open tennis, Iga Swiatek to take on Daniel Collins at Ash Barty to clash with Madison Keys in women's singles semi-finals tomorrow. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
Welcome back. You are tuned to the evening news on All India Radio. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will host the first meeting of India Central Asia Summit in a virtual format tomorrow. Presidents of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan will participate. Mr. Modi had paid a historic visit to all the Central Asian countries in 2015. Subsequently, there have been exchanges at high levels at bilateral and multilateral forums. Our correspondent reports that the summit is symbolic of the importance attached by the leaders of India and the Central Asian countries to a comprehensive and enduring India-Central Asia partnership.
This will be the first engagement of its kind between India and the Central Asian countries at the level of leaders. The summit is a reflection of India's growing engagement with the Central Asian countries, which are a part of India's extended neighborhood. During the summit, the leaders are expected to discuss steps to take forward India-Central Asia relations to newer heights. They are also expected to exchange views on regional and international issues of interest, especially the evolving regional security situation. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
India and France have signed an MOU with a scope for cooperation in health research. Science and Technology Ministry said the MOU was signed yesterday between the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and Institut Pasteur France. CSIR and Institut Pasteur will jointly research and focus on emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases and inherited disorders and enable delivery of effective and affordable healthcare solutions not only for the people of India and France but for the global good.
The process of filing nomination papers for the fourth phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh will begin with the issuance of notification tomorrow. The state is going to polls in 7 phases from the 10th of February to the 7th of March. Fourth phase of polling in Uttar Pradesh will be conducted on 23rd of February in 59 assembly constituencies spread over 9 districts. Tomorrow is also the last day for withdrawal of candidature for the first phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. In all, 658 nominations were found valid during the scrutiny. In this phase, 58 assembly constituencies will go to polls on 10th of February. The counting of votes in the 5 states will be taken up together on the 10th of March. The BJP has released the second list of its 6 candidates for the upcoming assembly elections in Goa. Rajesh Tulshidar Patnekar will contest from Bicholim assembly seat, Antonio Fernandez from St. Cruz seat, while Janita Pandurang Mundaikar has been fielded from Kumbaljua seat in the state.
Indian Railways today postponed its non-technical popular categories NTPC and first stage computer-based test CBT of the centralized employment notification following protests by job aspirants over the selection process of its recruitment exams. It has also formed a high-power committee to look into the concerns and doubts raised by candidates regarding the results of the first stage CBT of NTPC issued by Railway Recruitment Boards on the 14th and 15th of this month. The committee will look into the results of the first stage CBT and methodology used for shortlisting candidates for the second stage CBT without affecting existing shortlisted candidates. It will also look into the introduction of the second stage CBT in centralized employment notification. The candidates can lodge their concerns and suggestions to the committee at email ID rrbcommittee@railnet.gov.in. All chairpersons of the Railway Recruitment Boards have also been directed to receive the grievances of candidates through their existing channels, compile these grievances and send the same to the committee. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw said that after examining the concerns of the candidates, the committee will submit the recommendations by the 4th of March this year.
अब इसको कैसे सॉल्व करना है उसका भी कोई न कोई तरीका ऑलरेडी सोचा जा रहा है. किसी न किसी तरीके से सोचेंगे कि एग्जाम की सैंक्टिटी भी खत्म न हो और स्टूडेंट्स का जो ग्रीवेंस है वो भी सॉल्व हो और जो लोग शॉर्टलिस्ट हो गए उनको भी कोई दिक्कत न हो. इस तरह का कोई एक बैलेंस करके निकालना पड़ेगा. 16/2 तक सारे के सारे कैंडिडेट्स अपने कंसर्न सबमिट कर सकते हैं. 3 weeks टाइम दिया. आई थिंक दैट्स अ रीजनेबल टाइम.
The Congress today released another list of its 89 candidates for the ensuing assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Those included in the list are Sandeep Rana, who will contest from Saharanpur assembly seat. Akbari Begum has been fielded from Bijnor, Saroj Devi from Hathras, Sandeep Tiwari from Firozabad, and Krishnakant Sharma will be the party candidate from Bareilly assembly seat in Uttar Pradesh. The names of the candidates were selected by the Central Election Committee of the Congress.
Over 163 crore 58 lakh vaccine doses have been administered under the nationwide vaccination drive so far. Health Ministry said over 59 lakh 50,000 doses were administered yesterday. In the last 24 hours, over 2,85,000 new cases were recorded and more than 2,99,000 recoveries were reported. The recovery rate currently stands at 93.23%. In Kerala, intense transmission of Omicron variant-driven third wave of COVID pandemic continues unabated with 49,771 cases being reported today. 34,439 recoveries were also reported in the state. 457 health workers were among those infected. Test positivity rate slightly dipped to 48.06%. State's active cases have risen to 3,556,000. 63 new COVID deaths were reported today.
The central government has convened an all-party meeting on Monday, the 31st of January, to ensure smooth functioning of the budget session of Parliament. The meeting, convened by the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, will be held virtually. Floor leaders of the political parties in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha have been invited for the meeting. The budget session of Parliament is beginning on the same day. The Union budget will be presented on the 1st of February. The government has notified drone certification scheme to make certification of drones simpler, faster and transparent. In a tweet, Civil Aviation Ministry said, along with the liberalized drone rules, airspace map, the PLI scheme and the single window digital sky platform will help drone manufacturing industry in India.
In Mumbai, at least 5 people are feared trapped in debris after a multi-storey structure collapsed at Suburban Bandra today. A civic official said the ground plus 4-storey structure caved in at around 3:50 p.m. in the Behram Nagar of the western suburb. Fire brigade and police personnel immediately rushed to the spot where a rescue operation has been launched. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
"72 years ago, on 26 January 1950, India became a republic. While India had been running its own affairs since the actual transfer of power from British to Indian hands on 15 August 1947, 26 January 1950 marked the severing of our last ties with Britain. The Indian National Congress, in the annual session of 1929 in Lahore, had passed the historic Purna Swaraj resolution, making a public declaration to celebrate 26 January 1930 as Independence Day. Thus, to commemorate that Purna Swaraj resolution, the date of 26 January was chosen to implement the Constitution.
India's first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, was sworn in as India's head of state, replacing the king, and the Constitution of India was ratified. With the 1950 Constitution, the country was officially known as the Republic of India, a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic that secures all its citizens justice, liberty, equality and fraternity according to its preamble. The Constitution gave India's citizens the power to govern themselves by choosing their own government.
In 1950, the day began in Delhi with the 34th and the last Governor-General of India, Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, reading out a proclamation announcing the birth of the Republic of India. Indonesia's President Sukarno was the chief guest on the occasion. Dr. Rajendra Prasad took oath as India's first president at the Darbar Hall in the Government House. The President then addressed the crowd first in Hindi and then in English.
Today, for the first time in our long and checkered history, we find the whole of this vast land brought together under the jurisdiction of one constitution and one union, which takes over responsibility for the welfare of more than 320 million men and women who inhabit it.
Dr. Prasad unfurled the Tiranga, India's national flag. He drove in his state coach and was greeted by thousands of people along the way. He also visited Rajghat and paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi.
In the early years, the celebrations were held in different places, at the Red Fort, the Irvin Stadium, and even in the Ramlila grounds. But from 1955, after the military parade began, the ceremony was shifted to Rajpath. It has remained there ever since.
Let us listen to glimpses of Republic Day celebration from the early 1950s.
Amid scenes of unforgettable splendor, Delhi celebrated the first anniversary of the Indian Republic. A huge concourse of people witnessed the President's ceremonial drive along Kingsway. The parade by the armed forces, at which Dr. Rajendra Prasad took the salute, was watched by a large and distinguished gathering. Earlier, the President presented 4 Untitled Chapters for gallantry during the Jammu and Kashmir operation. After the presentation ceremony, units of the armed forces, headed by heavy tanks, marched past the saluting base. The smart turnout of the officers and men and their soldierly bearing won repeated applause from the jubilant crowd.
The Republic Day parade is led by the 3 divisions of the Indian Armed Forces, Navy, Air Force, and the Indian Army. Besides this, there are several cultural tableaux, rally of marching soldiers, military bands, aircraft shows, and display of spectacular skill and daring on military vehicles. It is one of the most spectacular parades in the world. People from many parts of the world especially visit India during this time to witness the grandeur of the celebrations of the Republic Day in Delhi.
The festivities officially come to a close on January the 29th with the beating retreat ceremony in New Delhi, where bands from the Indian Army, Navy and the Air Force perform.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark Gold Jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the demise of noted Kathakali dancer Milena Salvini. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said Milena Salvini will be remembered for her passion towards Indian culture. In Women's Asia Cup hockey tournament, South Korea defeated India 3-2 in the first semi-final at Muscat this evening. The other semi-final of the tournament is now underway between Japan and China. In tennis, the lineup is complete for the semi-finals of the men's and the women's singles event at the Australian Open. In women's singles, while top seed Ashley Barty will square off against American Madison Keys, 7th seed Iga Swiatek will face Daniel Collins of US in the last 4 at the Rod Laver Arena tomorrow. In the men's singles, 2nd seed Daniel Medvedev will meet 4th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas, while world number 7 Matteo Berrettini will lock horns with 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal in the semi-finals on Friday. And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to have another cold day. Imphal will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Nation celebrates 73rd Republic Day with gaiety and enthusiasm. Magnificent display of country's military might and cultural dynamism at Rajpath, highlight of the day. Indian Air Force exhibits grandest fly past with 75 aircrafts as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Indian missions and diaspora across the world celebrate the day with patriotic fervour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to host first meeting of India Central Asia Summit in a virtual format tomorrow. Notification for the 4th phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh to be issued tomorrow. BJP releases second list of 6 candidates for Goa assembly elections. Congress announces another list of 89 candidates for Uttar Pradesh. Indian Railways constitutes high-powered committee to look into concerns of candidates over NTPC CBT-1 result. In Women's Asia Cup hockey tournament, India lose to South Korea in the semi-final at Muscat. And in Australian Open tennis, Iga Swiatek to take on Daniel Collins and Ash Barty to clash with Madison Keys in the women's singles semi-finals tomorrow. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.